Welcome back, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Here we are, week number 1, and we're going to be talking about weight loss again. We're going deeper, even deeper this time, guys. And this week, we are talking about what should I eat? So for those of you who've been following, we talked about finding hunger, all the things that make noise in our head about hunger. And then we went into a whole month of talking about finding fullness, stopping when we're full from eating and not overeating. And what is the thing that makes us want to overeat? All those sorts of things. And we've been digging through all those issues. But here we are. Now we're going to start getting into what should I eat? And I did it in this order on purpose. If you start with talking about what should I eat, then we're really starting to get into diet planning. And diet planning is fine, but in the long run, without really learning to focus on waiting to eat until you're hungry and stopping when you're full, it really doesn't matter what you eat, okay? But if you get into really trying to tweak your eating plan, this is where it gets more interesting about how you can speed up, slow down, sabotage yourself and what you're choosing to eat. It does make a difference. I've said before, and I'll say it again, you can choose any plan you want. You can. I lost my weight initially, and I was more than 10 years younger than I am now. And I ate whatever I wanted. I had chicken wings, I had pizza, I ate salads, all of it. But in the end, especially as we get older, some of that stuff is harder to continue to lose weight on. But it can be done. So I'm not selling any diet. I told you all in the intro, I'm plant-based, and there's different reasons in our family for why we're doing that. But the number one primary reason is not weight loss, okay? Very healthy diet, but not necessarily just for weight loss. So let me give you my number one key about making your plan. You've got to choose it. The plan you pick has got to be a plan that you decide on. It can't be something anybody else designs for you. It can't be where somebody else gives you a written list of things you can eat or not eat. And let me tell you why that's a problem. If you do that, if you take a list from somebody else and you go, okay, I'm going to follow this plan, and every day you follow it to the letter, you will lose weight. But in the long run, you will not stick with it. It's not your idea. It's not your plan. And in the end, you don't own it. And so what you're going to do is there always comes this point when you start to either cheat on yourself and you go, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I don't have to do this because I didn't make this up. I don't have to do it. And then you stop honoring the plan that was laid out. So that ends up being one problem, because in the end, then when you cheat on yourself, you look back and you go, well, that plan didn't work. Plan worked fine, but you stopped following it, which is why it stopped working for you. So that's why you have to choose the plan. If you take somebody else's plan, eventually you will start to cheat and go, I don't want it to be this strict, or maybe I don't have to do it this way, or maybe I can fiddle with it. Okay, you can fiddle with it. It'll teach you whether the fiddling works or not. Okay. The other thing is, at some point, if you get on a particularly restrictive plan somebody else wrote, all juices or all green vegetables and no fruit or no carbs, no whatever, there comes a point when if you have not figured out how to manage your mind around the thoughts of deprivation, and you really never bought into this plan as yours, and this is the way you want to live for the long term, you're going to rebel. You're going to be like the teenager who goes, I don't have to do that. I'm not going to do it. And then you chuck the plan. And then the weight comes back. And then you think, well, what was that for? I wasted my time. Now you didn't, because you learned something. You learned something about what worked and something about what doesn't. And that brings me to how you're going to design your plan. If you have dieted, and most of us have, on and off for years, then you've learned a lot. You've learned a lot of what not to do, a lot of what does not work. That's really, really important. And you're going to need to dig into that wealth of knowledge and try to figure out, what have I done in the past that didn't work and why? The why is key. If you found that doing an absolutely carb-free diet in the long run just made you feel awful, it's probably not a good lifestyle for you. If you found that, you really like having a glass of wine every so often, then a completely alcohol-free plan is not for you. You're going to have to sit down and figure out what you want. First of all, what you want the most. And that's the key number one question. What do you really want? And I talked about this way back in some of the old videos. If you can answer the question what you want, and losing weight is more important than a cookie, than your soda, than your everyday glass or 2 or 3 glasses of wine a night, or bread, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, if losing weight is more important than that, and you can answer that that thing that you think you want is less important, that's going to serve you. Okay? You got to figure that out for yourself. You've got to answer the question, what can you sustain? What can you do for the long term? How can you and it doesn't mean, oh, I can never go to a birthday party and have a piece of birthday cake again, or I can't go out to a party and have a glass of wine, or I can never. Those absolutes are really impossible long-term to live with. And you can manage your mind around deprivation and say, I don't have to feel deprived in this situation, because what I really want is to maintain my weight. What I really want is to keep losing weight. I don't want that thing as much as I want this other thing. But over the course of your lifetime, hopefully decades more, you're going to have to be able to make exceptions. But in general, how do you want to live? Could you go animal food free? Could you go meat free? Do you want to give up dairy? How does your body feel on those foods? Is it an absolute non-starter to give up all carbs? Could you give up sugar? What about flour? Can you cook for yourself? If the answer is no, you can't cook for yourself, you got to, okay, well, what plans, how can I make this work so that I'm eating foods that I know serve my body, and yet still I can get them? I'm not running through the drive-through because I didn't have anything at the house. I didn't pick up a bag salad at the grocery store. You got to figure out, what can I sustain? Some of these plans they're going to work. You're going to drop 20 pounds, but you're going to be chopping vegetables every single day and juicing, and you're running to the store every 2 or 3 days because you have to, buy more fresh fruits and vegetables, and you're not going to do it forever. So you just got to figure that out. What can you do? What do you want to do? How do you fit it into your lifestyle? And can you find a long-term plan that works? At least from where you're standing right now. It's entirely possible that you're going to tweak and tweak and tweak your plan as you go, as you lose. But it's got to be your plan. So I hope that helps. I hope that's a good start for you. I want you to sit down this week, write down some things you know about yourself. Write down things that you know have worked in the past before when you lost weight. Write down things that did not work. Write down your thoughts about them. What is it that you really want to see happen, and what can you live with long term? Okay? Now, I hope that helps. This is a really important start. So this is a little longer video than some of the others, but I want to make sure that you are creating the plan. Don't just take, oh, this is my old Weight Watchers plan, I'll use that, or I just will take that plan I found online. You may start there, but it's got to be, in the end, your plan. So I hope that's a good start for you. We're going to get going next week on looking at the different category groupings of foods, and we're going to start with carbs, everybody's favorite. So we're going to talk about that, and I want you to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And give me a thumbs up on this video if you liked it, and make some comments below so I know how you're doing. All right. I look forward to seeing you next week. Get that homework done. And let's get moving on this plan. Okay? Whatever plan you make. Bye, guys.